So I just woke up, and after a quick freshening up and getting ready for the day, the first thing I do is prepare my morning cup of coffee. This is my favorite part of the day. On days when I skip it, things feel slightly off. I take the first sip, warm, comforting. Some people say coffee tastes unpleasant, but not to me. Sometimes I drink it for focus, sometimes just for the taste, sometimes because sitting down with coffee feels like telling myself I'm ready to begin. And I start thinking, why do I like coffee that much? Welcome back to Dose of Confidence, your little boost of clarity and courage. Today we're talking about coffee, how it affects us, why we like it so much, how it helps us, and when it stops helping. What's the first thing you do in the morning? For many people, it's coffee. And when it's missing, the day feels slightly off. The day doesn't really start until coffee does. There's a reason for that. Inside your brain, there's a chemical called adenosine. It builds up while you're awake and signals tiredness. Coffee doesn't give you energy. It blocks that signal that tells you you're tired. So your mind feels clearer, focus feels easier, and mental effort feels lighter. Caffeine also not just dopamine, the brain reward chemical. Not intensely, just enough to make things feel a little more doable. So there's that small lift, the subtle sense that things are more manageable. Your brain notices, and it starts to associate coffee with a better state. A relief sensation. That's why the first sip always feels different. But liking coffee isn't only about chemistry. Coffee is rarely just a drink. It shows up in our lives in different scenarios. Standing in the kitchen before anyone else wakes up, when we meet friends for coffee, when we take a break at work and feel human again, and get to have some conversations with our colleagues. Coffee becomes part of the rhythm, something stable, even when other things change. But isn't it weird how we used to hate it as kids? Why do we like it as adults? Bitterness is something you learn to appreciate. It signals maturity, control, choice. Now add the smell, the warmth in your hands, the peaceful moment before the day asks anything of you. Sometimes you don't even need the caffeine. Decaf can feel just as grounding because part of what you like is the pause. People drink coffee in different ways. And if you love coffee but never heard about Turkish coffee, that would be a good time to give it a try. It's a very different experience. When drinking coffee is intentional, it can help. It can sharpen attention, lift your mood just enough, make tasks feel less heavy, create a soft transition into the day. It can be a moment of connection. It can support creativity or be a signal to yourself that you're ready. It creates a clear transition from rest to presence. But there's a line that's easy to cross. It's a fine line between a healthy habit and a dependency. When you drink it often, your brain adapts. It creates more adenosine receptors, so the same cup does less, and skipping it starts to feel uncomfortable. So when it's missing, you feel it. You start to experience headaches, irritability, brain fog, because your brain has learned to expect coffee to function. There is also another layer. Coffee helps with sleepiness, but it doesn't fix emotional exhaustion or burnout or a nervous system that's been running too long without rest. In those moments, coffee can wake you up, but you would still feel tired or even anxious. So when coffee stops working the way it used to, it's a signal. Most of the time, we don't love coffee just for the caffeine. We love what it gives us access to, a sense of clarity, the feeling of being ready. When we understand that, coffee becomes something we enjoy, not something we rely on to feel okay. If this video helps you understand things better, feel free to subscribe and share it with someone who wants to learn more about coffee. And let me know what other topics you'd like to hear about next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.